Okay, so Mandy, I've just come back from an initial consultation with a client where I've talked to them about their goals for the spaces and I've gotten measurements of the spaces. And so now I come back and I bring all of that to you and
Mhm.
start to put that into a full service design plan. So kind of like talk us through what happens after I bring that information back.
So then I open up our modeling software and I drop those measurements into a 2D floor plan. So we get the bare bones in there, and then we space plan with our suggested selections, and we start planning like even specifics like how far are the chairs from the wall, and we think about how are our clients going to move through this space.
Absolutely. So then the other thing so we're looking at the dollhouse view, the 2D, but we have mood boards that relate to to the pieces that are actually in this space, right?
Yes. So we also, for clients that choose this design plan, we then move into mood boards, which is giving them examples of specific selections, not just, this is a suggestion, but this is what we think would actually look good in this space. So let's start with, this is the piano studio here. So
Yes,
then you see each of those basic outlines then corresponds with an actual piece on this mood board.
exactly. Exactly. So all the lighting, area rug, artwork, all the furniture pieces for this space, including the existing. So this client already has a piano and a piano bench, but we've included that so that as you're looking at the other pieces that are going to go into the room, you see what they look like with what's already there.
Exactly. And
Cool.
then we have one for the dining room as well.
Hmm. Love it. And this is open concept. So obviously that's taken into account and allows the client to be able to see how both of those spaces, when the furnishings are picked, how they relate to each other, because you're going to look from one room to another and see it all together.
Exactly. So yes, when you look at the two together, you can see that it flows.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The presentation for the client is going to be done this way as well, where we can look at all this digitally, just like we're doing right now. We can look at it with them digitally, and they can see all of these things side by side.
Exactly.
Excellent. So drop us down into the space, because now we're going to go from this dollhouse 2D view into what you've created for us in a 3D, which is fantastic.
Yes. So every 3D model starts as a 2D, and we use that same space planning to build our 3D model off of. So this is just the top view. And then we can
Ta-da!
then orbit to see some more details here.
A lot of details, actually, because once you get us into the space, it gets pretty
Exactly.
specific.
And one of the great things about this software is that you can actually drop yourself into the room, and we can look into the room as if you were there.
Right. And actually, okay, so just pointing a couple of things out, the artwork and the lamps and the furniture is specifically some of the pieces that are actually being used in the room. Like that is the exact artwork. Yep.
And then if we come around here, we can see that there is the corresponding piece.
Right.
Now we're looking into the piano studio.
The other thing that is important to know is that while we're with a client and we're showing the spaces, we've also brought with us, if we're with a client, we've brought it with us. If we're not with a client, then we've sent it so they can look at it during the presentation. But the exact samples of the fabrics and maybe the wood for the table, rugs, things like that, paint colors, all those things are on hand so that as we're looking at it, they're also seeing each of the finishes that are being used very specifically.
Right.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very hands-on, detailed process, so you can get a feel for what it's actually going to be like before you sign off on anything. And we really want you to be confident in the choices that are being made and excited about the end results.
Yeah, and I think that's the best part. I think it's easier to get excited when you can imagine what it's like to be in the spaces with the exact pieces and fabrics and finishes that are eventually going to be in there. So, good
Absolutely.
job, Mandy. I love it. I love it.
I
Excellent.
love it too. Thanks,
Yeah.
Kelly.